Hi guys, so this is a new segment called Facts Only Extra. So in this particular segment, we are going to be dissecting, discussing and analyzing as it pertains to any trending topic that is worth discussing on the show. So on this particular segment, we are going to talk about Nice versus Flavour, right? So a day ago, Nigerian Twitter users, so to speak, even though the app has been banned, whatever the case is, the conversation was who is greater, Nice versus Flavour. No, that wasn't even the conversation. The conversation was Nice versus Flavour, and people were picking a side. Now the problem is this: people like either or conversations on social media. Yes, there's such a thing as greatness. There's such a thing as being the best. There's such a thing as something. But the problem is when you start making either or conversations, you jumble things up together and you create a problem called oversimplification. The definition of oversimplification is very simple: trying to put a blanket on everything and creating a simple outcome. Like that, if you've heard J Electronica's Road to Perdition, there was a quote on it where the voice in the other section said, "Sometimes you provide simple answers to complex problems." The problem is sometimes you can't provide simple answers to complex problems. You can provide an easy one, but it doesn't mean it's simple. So about this Nice and Flavour conversation, we are going to take it from the perspective of greatness. Now, what is greatness? Greatness is very simple. Greatness is a summation of the entire thing that an artist has been able to do in their career. It's not limited to talent. It's not limited to discography. It's not limited to awards. It's not limited to any of those things. Greatness is only limited. Greatness is a conglomeration of everything. So you are looking at talent, yes, application of that talent, and sometimes some people are great, but they don't have. Some people are great, but they are not necessarily prodigiously talented. Application of talent is what gets you greatness. Now, we are going to talk about discography. You are going to talk about hits. You are going to talk about awards. You are going to talk about the things that they've been able to do with the music. Now, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, that's extra musical factors." Maybe, but here's the problem with that. When you are going to discuss greatness, for example, you are going to look at what Olamide has been able to do with his label, for example. If you are going to talk about greatest rappers in America, you are going to look at what Kanye West has done with Yeezy, what Jay-Z has been able to do with Rock Nation, with Rockefeller as lead of Def Jam, signing Rihanna, buying Tidal, Ace of Spades, all these things. So all the things are able to do with the music also comes out of that. Then we're also going to look at the celebrity part of your superstardom, right? So the celebrity part of your superstardom is we're going to be able to use it to gauge the mileage of your celebrity, because that's also a way to measure your greatness. Some people are great, but they don't necessarily transcend the greatness from the music itself. So most people that are great transcend the music into culture, right? So let's look at Nice and Flavour based on the things that we've said so far. First things first, Nice and Flavour are kind of closely interlinked. Flavour released his debut album in 2005, Nabania. Nice released his debut album Certificate in 2007, right? But here is the problem. Between 2007 and 2011, or let's say 2012, so to speak, Nice was one of the biggest artists in this country, especially between 2008 and 2010. Nice was one of the top 3, top 5. Nice was easily in that conversation. Easily, right? There is no way you can say it. As a matter of fact, a lot of people are going to tell you that Nice was top 3, because look at it this way. When in 2008, Nice released Gongwaso, he released the single Gongwaso, released the album Gongwaso, which is one of the top 4, which is one of the 4 horsemen that define the current era of Nigerian Afropop. The sound and the era itself goes back to True Story by Timaya. As we said several on the show, Nice's Gongwaso, When the Ghost Mission to Mo Hits, and The Bunch Entertainer. They are even though Mission to Mo Hits might stand out a little bit because of the cool sound and the mid-tempo and everything, you are going to look at those other 3 albums because of what they did. Now, let's go back to 2008. In 2008, there were 3 bona fide superstars in this country. Aside from, say, the Olumentins and the Phases and all of them, and maybe the MIs, all of that. You are looking at number 1, Two-Face Idibia. You are looking at The Bunch, and you're looking at P-Square. But the problem was this. Speaking with Two-Face last year, Two-Face told me categorically that Unstoppable album, which he released in 2008, was a flop. He called it a flop by himself, right? And you can't blame him because the album didn't really perform as much as he performed. So you are going to look at that. So Nice releasing that album, you can argue that Nice was top 3 because when they hosted Mamas in 08, Two-Face was not exactly in conversation of those artists. The people that were in conversation, the band P Square, Naeto C, Ikechukwu, Nice, Sasha, those were the people that were in the conversation for Nigeria, right? And then Asha, the next year was MI. So if a person that was top 3, you can't then say that, you can't invalidate their greatness, right? But the problem with Nice's run was, then after Gongwaso he released Tradition, he released Bashonga, and he released Versus. But after that, his success at the top was short-lived. His next album after that didn't really work. Now let's go to Flavour, right? Flavour has never been top 3, top 5 in this country, ever. Right? But the good thing about Flavour is Flavour has been able to create timeless content. He has been able to use his brand. He has been able to use his stagecraft. He has been able to use his overall artistry. Like Flavour is an entire brand. He's a handsome guy. He's hunky. Women love him. He's all of those things, right? And then he can perform when he gets on stage. He can play the instruments. He's fantastic vocally. He's all of those things, right? He has been able to use that to become Flavour over time. Like, if Nice's peak is way higher than Flavour's peak. But the thing about Flavour is, Flavour has been able to last way longer than Nice, even though he never reached Nice's peak. Those are two different conversations, right? So what Flavour has been able to do is, he has never played by anybody's rules. He has never really cared about coming to Lagos as much as those things. He has never cared about excessive push like some of the people in Lagos. He has never cared about any of those things. Flavour has just been worried about his own rules. And Flavour, by being himself, made Nigeria and Africa take notice of him. Like, you couldn't avoid Flavour by the time he released Blessed. You just could not, right? And the good thing about Flavour is that by the time Flavour started succeeding, right, you could not ignore him. So people are going to argue that, oh, in the East, oh, Flavour has been big in the East. My brother, the Nigerian music industry operates on a concept of top down. Like, not Nigerian music industry, music industries across the world operate a top-down concept, not usually very bottom-up. At least not until, at least before the social media era, everything was usually top-down. That's why people want to come to the major hubs to come and blow there, because things from the major hubs have a way of trickling down, because they are the more desirable places, and they want to house people. Now, the smaller hubs are also very good, right? But the problem with the smaller hubs is that the media coverage in the major cities are better. The more desirable media platforms that you want to get to, they are covering major hubs. So the major hubs are the places you want to get to. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people didn't take notice of Flavour. But at the same time, those things didn't really affect Flavour, because by the time it started blowing up, nobody cared. Flavour became Flavour. Let's go into their discography, right? We have settled longevity. Flavour lasted longer than MI. Let's go into discography. Nice has released 10 albums. Flavour has released 6, right? Both of them have trifectas. Nice's trifecta was Gongwaso, Tradition, and Bashonga. Flavour's trifecta was Uplifted, Blessed, and Thankful. Now the problem is this: Nice's Gongwaso had way more hits, mainstream impact, all of those things. But the thing about Flavour's trifecta is, Flavour's trifecta has been able to, the songs of Flavour's trifecta have aged slightly better, because the use cases for those songs have been way better. For example, you have seen a Flavour record still soundtracking weddings, not one. Flavour record soundtracking weddings till now. Like, you can't ignore those records, right? So you can't not talk about what Flavour has been able to achieve. Now, a lot of people are going to ask what a trifecta is. What is a trifecta? A trifecta is very simple. It's also known as the perfect 3. It's the run of 3 consecutive albums by one act that are universally acclaimed and or commercially successful. That's just what it is. 3 consecutive albums. Now, even though Flavour might take the conversation of trifecta, because even though Nice's records, Nice's trifecta, more hits, more mainstream appeal, more success, but Flavour's own, the music has aged slightly better, not just standing the test of time. It has aged slightly better. Now let's talk about the parts where Gongwaso comes into conversation. As much as Flavour might have his trifecta might have aged better, Flavour does not have a Gongwaso in his discography. The conversations around Flavour's around Gongwaso is very simple. Gongwaso was just out of here. The song, the album, out of here. A lot of people are going to come and say, oh, let's talk about Flavour's One Baby. Yes, One Baby was a huge song, but the problem is Flavour has never had a top 10 song, a top 5 song in this country before, ever. Yes, again, in the year 2011 when One Baby dropped, go and all this, a bunch of records dropped that year. Damidro dropped that year. Pakurumo dropped that year. A lot of records. Now you can say that Flavour's songs were big, but the problem is when those songs dropped, when a record like Gongwaso dropped, when a Pakurumo dropped or a Damidro dropped, they were groundbreaking from the moment, from the go. Move. Everybody had to take notice. You had to notice those records. Like you are talking about Beautiful Onye, you are talking about Forever, you are talking about by all those records are by P-Square, by the way. You are talking about all those records, right? You can't then put One Baby above those records. What One Baby did is One Baby has been able to stand the test of time way more than those records. It has YouTube numbers, it has all of those things. This video has over 40 million streams on YouTube, right? But at the time, in the year of 2011 or in 2012 even, you can't place some of the biggest hits above One Baby above some of the biggest hits that year. It's just, you can't just do that. Again, you can also argue that Flavour's records, One Baby was big in the East, but again, the East is not Nigeria. Flavour, the good thing Flavour, and at the time it was when we understood that Flavour understood his sound. It was not battling anybody. It just released the record. It remixed a classic record. You are going to take note of it, and we did take note of that record. We took notice of that record, but in the conversation of big records versus big records in the short term, especially at the time that both of those records were released, One Baby is not bigger than both records, and that is why you can't say One Baby over Gongwaso. You can't say Gongwaso was groundbreaking from the go. So let's move past the conversation around discography. Now let's go to the conversation of brand and artistry, right? In the conversation of artistry, right, Flavour is a better vocalist. Flavour is a multi-instrumentalist. Flavour knows how to apply. Flavour has better stagecraft. In Nice's career, people have criticized Nice about his stagecraft before, even when knows how to speak. People have also criticized his videos before. Flavour on the other side kills videos every time. He used the wedding concept twice and killed it on both times, right? So let's go back to Nice. Nice. The best thing about Nice is Nice sounds like a folk artist, sounds like a Fuji artist sometimes. Infuses a lot of culture into his tone, but at the root of it is an incredible delivery that makes him find pockets to sound like a rapper. So that's his blessing. But let's now go to the conversation around brand. Flavour has been one of the best brands in this country over the past. In modern Nigerian music, right? What Flavour has been able to do is leverage what he has to create a resonant brand that doesn't have to, where it doesn't have to make hits. Look at Flavour's numbers on YouTube. Flavour's numbers are still crazy on YouTube. He doesn't even have to generate hits, but his numbers are crazy on YouTube because there are people who want to watch it. The same thing with Yemi Alade, which brings me to the point of Yemi Alade, where Flavour is like the male version of Yemi Alade. But he's better in the sense that he makes better music, he has greater hits, and he has bigger love in Nigeria. By contrast, Nice's career effectively died after he stopped making hits. Now, Flavour has also leveraged his brand into something bigger. He's created businesses, he's created other things. Nice ran for office and a lot of other things, but a lot of those things, people are going to say, oh, it didn't matter, but it did matter. He leveraged it. It didn't work, but Flavour has been able to create. Flavour's club is one of the biggest in the Southeast. People know that club, right? So let's go back to what Flavour in his personal life. We are talking about celebrity, and his personal life is not being able to, it's had his moments, but no major scandals. Whereas Nice had a major career scandal that showcased the power of his celebrity. In 0809, his marriage was a talk of Nigeria, like everywhere. Rugged man's Rugged Man received a jolt from it. It was so huge, bet 2 classic records, blessed numerous sensational tabloid headlines and a lot of those things. So you can then see the power of celebrity. So when it comes down to then let's go to awards again. Awards, they are not the major things, but at the same time, they can stamp things in time. Nice has a mobile award for the best African act. You can't top that. You can't argue against that. It shows is super man to speak. He also has a mama. He swept the 09 headies. He won 2 in 08. Flavour has 2 headies. 2 of them are for best collabo. One for Sounds of Towns Horrible, and the other one for Nice MIS #1. He has Channel Music Awards. He has the best live performance, best live act at the headies. I mean at the mamas. But that was the era of Blessed, actually, because that was when people couldn't deny him anymore. So when push comes to shove, who is greater? You have to go for Flavour. It's Flavour, bro. The point is this. Both of them have created fantastic careers that most people would dream of, like in advanced climbs. If Nice had that 5-run album that he had at the start of his career, it would be fantastic. It would be good of royalties for the rest of his life. I remember Joe Budden talking about Pump It Up. He was saying that he still gets about, was it around $18,000 every year from Pump It Up that he released in 2003 or 2002, right? So in good countries, Nice would be good. He would not have to hustle a lot in his life. But sadly, we don't have that in Nigeria. Both careers are very desirable, but in most cases, Flavour's career is more desirable. So you have to go for Flavour. You can't just look down on long-term longevity and long-term impact. You just can't. You can't talk down on it. You can't spit on it. You can't do anything about it. You have to look at what Flavour has been able to do in his career. A lot of people might want to go for Nice's short term, but most people will go for a long-term career where I'm going to be making money for over 10 years and not come down and be able to do a lot of things, expand my brand, make more money. It's a lifestyle brand, basically. It's a lifetime brand as well, where it might be performing till he's 40 because people just want to see him perform. When you call Flavour to your show, you know what you're going to get. And that's why we're going to go for Flavour in this conversation, and that's facts only.